Bass Reeves was born into slavery in Crawford County, Arkansas, in 1838. He was named after his grandfather, Bass Washington. Reeves and his family were owned by Arkansas state legislator William Steele Reeves. When Bass was 8, about 1846, William Reeves moved to Grayson County, Texas, near Sherman in the Peters Colony. It appears plausible that Reeves was kept in bondage by William Steele. Reeves's son, Colonel George R. Reeves, a Texan sheriff, legislator, and one-time Speaker of the Texas House of Representatives until his death from rabies in 1882. When the American Civil War began, George Reeves joined the Confederate Army, forcing Bass to go with him. It is unclear how and exactly when Bass Reeves escaped, but at some point during the Civil War he gained his freedom. One account recalls how Bass Reeves and George Reeves had an altercation over a card game. Bass severely beat George, and by some accounts fled to the Indian Territory, where he lived among the Cherokee, Creeks, and Seminoles. According to these accounts, Bass may have stayed with the Native American tribes and learned their languages until he was freed by the 13th Amendment's abolishment of slavery in 1865. As a freedman, Reeves returned to Arkansas and farmed near Van Buren. Reeves and his family farmed until 1875, when Isaac Parker was appointed federal judge for the Indian Territory. Parker appointed James F. Fagan as US Marshal, directing him to hire 200 deputy US Marshals. Fagan had heard about Reeves, who knew the territory and could speak several native languages. He recruited him as a deputy. Reeves was the first black deputy to serve west of the Mississippi River. Reeves was assigned as a deputy U.S. Marshal for the Western District of Arkansas, which had responsibility also for the native reservation territory. He served there until 1893. That year, he transferred to the Eastern District of Texas in Paris, Texas, for a short while. In 1897, he was transferred again, serving at the Muskogee Federal Court in the Native Territory. Reeves worked for 32 years as a federal peace officer in the Indian Territory and became one of Judge Parker's most valued deputies. Reeves brought in some of the most dangerous fugitives of the time. He was never wounded despite having his hat and belt shot off on separate occasions. In addition to being a marksman with a rifle and revolver, Reeves developed superior detective skills during his long career. When he retired in 1907, Reeves had on his record thousands of arrests of felons, some accounts claiming over 3,000. According to his obituary, he killed 14 outlaws to defend his life. Reeves had to arrest his own son for murder, Benjamin Benny. Reeves was charged with the murder of his wife. Despite the perpetrator being his son, Reeves nonetheless insisted on the responsibility of bringing Benny to justice. Accounts of the incident report that Benny was either captured by his father or simply turned himself in. He was ultimately tried and convicted, serving 11 years at Fort Leavenworth in Kansas before his sentence was commuted. He reportedly lived the rest of his life as a model citizen. When Oklahoma became a state in 1907, Reeves, then 68, became an officer of the Muskogee Police Department. He served for 2 years before he became ill and retired. Reeves was himself once charged with murdering a posse cook. At his trial before Judge Parker, Reeves claimed to have shot the man by mistake while cleaning his gun. He was represented by former United States Attorney W. H. Clayton, who was a colleague and friend. Reeves was eventually believed and acquitted, possibly based on his exceptional record. Reeves's health began to fail further after retiring. He died of Bright's disease, nephritis, on January 12, 1910. Reeves was married twice and had 11 children. In 1864, he married Nellie Jenny, 1896, and after her death, Winnie Sumter, 1900-1910. His children were named Newland, Benjamin, George, Lula, Robert, Sally, Edgar, Bass Jr., Harriet, Homer, and Alice. He was a great-uncle of Paul L. Brady, who became the first black man appointed as a federal administrative law judge. Bass Reeves was an extraordinary man who overcame incredible odds to become one of the most respected lawmen in the Wild West. He was a skilled marksman, a gifted detective, and a courageous individual. Reeves was also a man of great integrity and compassion. He was respected by both whites and blacks, and he was known for his fair and impartial treatment of all people. Reeves's legacy is one of courage, determination, and justice. He was a pioneer who helped to pave the way for other black lawmen. Reeves's story is also an inspiration to us all. It shows us that anything is possible, no matter what obstacles we face. It also teaches us the importance of justice and equality. Reeves's legacy has been celebrated in many ways. In 1996, the United States Postal Service issued a stamp in his honor. In 2007, the Bass Reeves Museum opened in Fort Smith, Arkansas. The museum tells the story of Reeves's life and career, and it features exhibits on the history of law enforcement in the American West. In 2019, the Bass Reeves Federal Courthouse opened in Oklahoma City. The courthouse is named in honor of Reeves's service as a US Marshal in the Indian Territory. The courthouse is a state-of-the-art facility that will serve the citizens of Oklahoma for many years to come. Reeves's story is also being told through film and television. In 2021, the film The Harder They Fall was released. The film is a fictionalized account of Reeves's life and career. Idris Elba stars as Reeves in the film. In 2022, the television series Bass Reeves premiered on the History Channel. The series is a 6-part drama that tells the story of Reeves's life. David Oyelowo stars as Reeves in the series. In 2023, Paramount Plus produced a series about Bass Reeves. Bass Reeves was a true American hero. He was a skilled lawman, a devoted husband and father, and a pioneer for racial equality. Reeves's legacy will continue to inspire people for generations to come.